were locked up for so long we couldn't do anything, we couldn't use the gallery, and then all of a sudden, boom!
Anyone that stepped into this exhibition will literally smile straight away because you just can't help it when you see so much colour.
And when you enter to the St Pancras Gallery, open the door of CASA CHROMATIC. It is an alternative universe. It's changed your mood.
It's really uplifting. It's a joyous exhibition. And you don't know where to look. It's like going into Sue's living room.
We decided to do a house, CASA color, and Peter wanted to actually make rooms.
So I thought, let's just push the boat out and suggest the fantastic spaces and rooms and shapes that you get in a house.
What would you have in a house that's very colorful, very welcoming, and part of a house you want to live in? And we also wanted rooms that would suit our artists. So who would be good for the dressing room, who would be good for the children's room. It just, once the rooms were built, it all just seemed to come together in a very logical way. I collaborated with my friend John William, and John also loves to cook. He loves food, he loves kitsch, he loves color. And we just had such a good time. We did it over a period of months, and it kept getting crazier and wilder, and we plundered my shed. We used everything. There was so much food stuff in there. I mean, plastic food, you know. Food is my background. You know, I used to be a food writer for decades, and I wrote 27 cookbooks and cooked on TV. And I love food. I especially love food that is colorful. And both John and I love kitsch. And that's why it's a kitchen.
We all live in houses, and we love and we have memories, sometimes not always good ones, but lots of things happen in a house, and in a way the exhibition does reflect a lot of this. It goes through a kitchen where the food that we love and enjoy. You've got the lounge area where memories of people and photographs. There's the bathroom area, which we've created an element of fun involving a mermaid in a bath.
And you know, we get these ideas, and then they grow and grow and grow, and they become almost something on their own.
And what was your idea of the eye in the window frame?
Yeah, I thought there's going to be some sort of peeping Tom. Peeping at the mermaid in her bath. Again, Peter made his magic. We have a little room, and that is the ladies' toilet. It's only for the ladies, and it's a figure with a lady's head, face. Virginia Woolf said, every woman should have a room of her own. Every woman should have a toilet of her own that's only hers, because there's something about women's life that is so different from men. We're constantly bleeding one way or the other. We have morning sickness. It is a very special place for a woman. So there's a thought bubble with a light bulb, so whoever's sitting on that toilet who's not having a hard time, they're thinking and they're getting fabulous ideas. So from every point of view, the toilet is very important. It is so filled with fantasy. All those fantasies that we had as children that stay with us all our lives, those are all represented in CASA. It's quite magical.
Life and death, really, the cycle of life and death's almost there.
It's very, very varied, but it's quite profound. Everybody is affected by it one way or the other, everybody.
And I think from when I was a child, I was that child who always made things with egg boxes and washing up bottles, so crafting's always been a huge part of my life. I've lived in London flats my entire life, and there is no space for a craft room. So I thought if I could have a room of my own, I had some space, I would make my craft room. So I've called it my fantasy craft room, because it literally is a thing of my dreams to have a space that I can make in.
I like the word chamber, and a chamber's like a little tiny room. I always think of chambers as places you go to sort of hide, or you go to gather your thoughts or read a book. So it's taking my home into a public space, but not 100%, but because it's my personal work, it sort of is. I work quite privately. I'm quite reclusive, to be honest, so I want to shroud it in a bit of mystery and a bit of contradiction.
I don't have a conservatory at home. I'd like one, but I don't have the room for it. I've got these quite large palm plants and pieces of mosaic around the garden and different kind of models, and it's more like a conservatory without the cover. So when I was asked if I wanted to do this project, I kind of took it from my own house, garden, and the love of all the different kind of palm trees and the exotic. I think that's what I really like about it, and I think conservatories are quite exotic.
Shall we use it?
I would like to use it, it's fantastic. Yeah. Maybe it could go on the dressing table?
Yeah. Yes, the hats in particular are used by dancers and artists and performance artists, singers and things, so it's been quite good. I've been lending them out. So I started to make dresses for them as well, and coats as well, reversible big duvet type coats. So I made the whole thing. It is focusing now on the costumes. I think the costumes are what I love doing, and some digital drawing as well.
You seen that one?
Is that your one?
I'm making another one with two faces instead of one, slightly smaller, and each face took me 10 hours.
I wanted to make a house dress, and I saw like this doll's house, this like Barbie doll house. It's from like the 90s, and that's basically like the Barbie house of my dream. That's I wanted this like very like Californian, like over the top pink, like a decadent pink. But then like yeah, my mom thought it was a bit too like tacky, so she wouldn't allow me to have it.
Hug dolls. They're for hugging, because especially in this time, the last 2 years, everybody is so lonely and a lot of loss, so I decided to make hug dolls. And my mom saw them. I made the design, she saw them, and I paint them. Oops. So this will be the blanket of the bed. And I think we really need some happy fun.
I just wanted to build a very colorful kidsdom, where kids can freely express themselves, and I wanted to transport all the adults back to their childhood through my thought-provoking couture designs. There is no harm or danger in toilet kidsdom, just a sense of innocence, universality, peace, and endless creativity, because I believe that childhood years are the most creative and colorful years of human beings until society shapes us. That would be great if we never lost that.
With this exhibition having an element of architecture and structure of rooms and spaces, and we thought it would be good to revisit Land of the Pharaohs.
And it's full of gold, kind of gold of the pharaohs, but it had to fit into the idea of a house. So I envision that as the part of the lounge, or even sometimes in some homes the dining room, where you put all the things you've collected over the years.
I've been to the private views, and you can see that it's somewhere people come to just be themselves. You know, some people are very flamboyant. That's not always that easy, especially on the back of COVID epidemic when we didn't see each other.
We have art families. So we have the color portraits of now, and then we have the sepia portraits of our imaginary ancestors. So it's all there above the fireplace. Now there's another color family, and that's sketch appeal, Dulce. People get together and they draw. So the family portraits are above the mantelpiece, sketch appeal is on the mantelpiece. And every time I walk through there, I just feel this warmth and happiness and excitement.
I'd been to Josephine Baker's chateau in France. I was just blown away by it. I didn't really know much about her at the time. She's a very inspirational woman. She believed in civil rights and was actually kind of dismissed from her own country and went to live in France, where she was accepted and got on really well. And, you know, I just thought, I want to make this puppet. I found the plant piece, I think, was part of a lamp. And then I put things together, and if it looks like it works, then I use it. And after I made this one, I thought about making a papier-mâché one, which is what this is. And I actually love the idea that it's made from stuff that you just throw out. This one is a mannequin that I bought and painted her up.
So my theme was based on Angela Carter's The Bloody Chamber, which is a set of fairy tales written by a heterosexual female, but it deals with female sexuality. So it relates to me in this space in that I'm a gay man that has actually fought and tried to go against the female qualities in myself for a big part of my life, and it's sort of only the last 10 years that I've started to accept that feminine energies aren't just to do with people calling you effeminate, they're actually quite strong elements. So my work does have a female energy to it, and this is the first show that I've done where I'm starting to express that in my work. The other thing about like the female energy, I really love female poets like Anne Sexton and Sylvia Plath, because they're confessional poems. And I guess as an artist I want my work to be confessional in some way. Because I've suffered from depression, I always think depression feels like a raven going across the sky and carrying the black away. So drenched in petrol blue sadness and staying until it's time to let it go, to be carried across the glacial sky within the raven's pitch black flight.
I work so always to create like wearable arts, and yeah, it kind of came together then when I found the house. And then I also found this like duvet cover. It's like an old granny cover that I got for like £3, and Richard helped me to make the structure, so we get some boning, really strong metallic boning in to create like the shape. We worked on alternative Miss World, and we actually work really well because I kind of get the idea, and I'm like, I want a pink house dress, but obviously I'm good at sewing, but I'm not the best at structure. And Richard, with his more engineering background, is able to basically support my vision, and is also really fun to work with.
We were locked down, we were locked in, we had a pandemic, and we had all that time where it was all festering and we want to get out. And then suddenly we were allowed to do another show, and boing, this one almost made itself.
Yeah, it almost didn't happen because it was linked to the first lockdown, and I saw just a brief moment to get it in, and if I hadn't, it might not have happened.
Yeah.
I feel like coming into this exhibition is a reminder that life is joyful and there is a lot of things to get happy and excited about. And I feel like when we've been through a couple of years now of actually a lot of sort of negativity and bad news, you can actually forget how things were and how things could be, and actually colour and art and creativity and creations, and there's so many techniques here. Maybe it'll inspire people to try more art disciplines themselves, to rediscover their creativity.
During the pandemic, we were stuck at home, so we tried to make our home nicer. It became this kind of cocoon. So actually the idea with the duvet was to show something really comfy that you can kind of roll in. That was also about kind of the housing crisis and shortage in the UK. So if, with all my saving, that's only what I could afford in London. So that was kind of a little ironical twist.
Every time I visit CASA, I see different moods and ideas coming out of it. So it's quite rich. It really engages with the imagination.
And this all, I think, comes through this kind of community of the art project gallery and the Colour Walk. We're kind of a group of artists who support each other.
I feel very lucky to be involved with Chromatic show because there aren't a great deal of opportunities given to artists, and I think there's an element of outsider art to these shows. I still consider myself to be an outsider amongst outsiders, I guess.
So I'm really keen to have my book launch event in this space, because my book is about colour and it has to be the event has to be in a space that's colourful. And in London right now, this is the most colourful place to be. It's filled with positive energy and creativity. And that's why I really want to bring people here to have a bit of a party.
For CASA Chromatic, which is about colour, when you get a memorial, colour is drained out of it for the simplicity. The only colour there is each stone representing individual personalities. There's a different very subtle little line of colour, different for each person.
I make memory jugs. I've been doing it for 20 years now, and that becomes a powerful, very powerful remembering the dead and honoring the dead. We've lost some amazing people. They leave a space where they were, where Rosie was. We remember her so vividly, Rosie McLeish. There's a space in our lives, like a vacuum, where she was. Joe Gagliano, one of my best friends in the world. Phil Wildman, I still can't believe he's gone. And there are many others, they're gone. And that's the only part of CASA that has no color. It's very ghostly. It's very white. It's very, it makes me cry every time. And we have a chair, so you can sit and you can look at it and you can think about it. And Jamie did a piece, and it's a skull, and that's a memory piece too, remembering the people who are gone. That to me is so important. Peter and I worked on that together. Peter had the idea of raising up the stones in the American Indian tradition closer to heaven.
And the white feathers, which have spiritual significance for some people.
I feel very good about this because I did a lot of helping with people dying. So for me to work with this, I can say my Buddhist prayers and while hanging it up. But how it will be exactly, I will find out.
This was a nice touch. Colour of water has been a puzzle since raindrops on the window panes first separated themselves from me. Bubbles on a flat pane, playing catch me if you can. Not red as in ball, or green as in grass, or blue as in sky, though sky in my eye was not often blue. Some time ago, Rosie exhibited a miniature yurt here. She really bonded with work of indigenous people from all over the world.
We're so lucky with our artists. We have the most wonderful collection of artists. We have all those cats. We're honoring people's love of their pets. The cats are absolutely wild.
And also there's the little figures in the children's room who just want to have fun and appear to be wanting to escape.
I want to get out of here.
When we got to the beginning of lockdown, March 2020, we were all kind of stuck at home thinking, what are we going to do with our time? I just thought this is the right time to do my colour book. Sue co-curated the art exhibition of Peter, which is in the corridor. So I'll let Sue say a few words.
And Momtaz's book brings a tremendous amount of joy, so I'm very, very proud to have written one of the introductions to it, and I am beyond proud to have her here, having her book launch at CASA CHROMATIC.
And this dress, it's the Hello Rainbow dress. I will do a little bit. This was handmade by the most incredible artist, Maria Fernanda. I'm going to invite her up because she handmade this dress. So, how old are you? Is it 84?
No way.
85?
No.
86? Look, super stylish. I've been to Maria Fernanda's house a few times and it's just filled with such quirky ideas. So this is a good opportunity for you to try something on. So have a bit of fun dressing up and enjoy the day.
The big question is, what happens next after you've been in a fantastic house?